Hey everybody, pull up a seat. I have just topped off my glass. Why don't you grab your favorite beverage and join me? This is the Paddy Wagon. Welcome back to another exciting installment of the Paddy Wagon. We've got some... What are you looking at?
Oh, I don't know. You said to be quiet. It makes me feel really weird when you want me to be quiet.
Hey, guys!
Whoa, hey out there!
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Paddy Wagon.
Whoa.
Almost did our podcast intro.
Welcome to the Paddy Wagon. If you're just joining us, which you are, we've got a couple of ruffians about. Yeah. We've got Christian on for the first time.
Yes.
And we've got Damien, who's...
And you have bearded Christian, by the way. That is
bearded
a rarity.
Christian. That sounds like one of those dirty sex things. I gave her the bearded Christian.
It's... Yeah, it's... Again, it's, I guess one of our new themes of our podcast is just a beard update. Honestly, I have it to stay warm.
To keep your face warm.
Yeah, it's just like a sweater for my face.
Can I immediately go off tangent? I know this isn't our podcast, but I gotta figure out, maybe 3 heads is better than 1. What would be a bearded Christian as far as sexual positions go? My immediate thought is like, you burn a bunch of palm leaves and then you spread the ashes around her face and then you crucify her.
So the bearded Christian is basically how dark do you want to go?
I mean, it's basically stigmata, but with a ash beard.
Yeah. Oh, boy. The bearded. So bearded, I automatically think Big Bush.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
And then Christian, I think something with a cross and big old fuzzy boxes. And
all right, Christian, bring it home.
I'm going super tame. I'm just saying it's just missionary, but...
While reading the Bible. I'm not shaven, and I'm reading fucking Paul 62:12.
The greatest of all the Pauls.
So how have you guys been?
Good.
Oh,
good.
Man. Not great.
Not great.
Yeah.
Well, is it a not great you can share, or is it a not great don't fucking bring it up?
I could.
I'm like a therapist, and everyone will hear this.
Yeah.
I disclose everything to everybody.
Well, good thing Damien's favorite activity is bitching, so...
There's a shocker.
That's part of my problem.
He's from California, dude. Those people bitch about everything.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I got to fit in.
That's true. Versus the Midwest, where you just keep that in forever. You don't say anything ever.
Yeah.
About
Die
your
of a heart attack at 36.
Stomach it, hold it in, and I'll deal with it when my doctor tells me bad news in 20 years.
When your wife's
call him
finally
a
like,
quack.
Your wife was like, you should go to the doctor. And you're like, I'll be fine. 20 years later. If you came in 20 years ago.
You just see her over those 2 decades, just like her soul is leaving her body, just watching you disintegrate before her eyes.
Your body's a tumor. Did you know this? I didn't. No, not till you told me. Thanks for bringing that up.
I have a question. Body's a temple.
Body's a temple. I have a question for you. This is for Damien. Damien, following you on Instagram, do you have a brother? Because there's a man that looks a lot like you. Like you would be his stunt double.
Yes.
Okay.
My twin.
Oh, it's... Fucking for real?
No.
Is it not your twin?
No. I don't know if anybody knows this about me, and if you don't, you can follow me on Instagram and find out for yourself. The only people that I hang out with have to look like me.
No relation at all?
No relation at all.
Bullshit.
I do have a brother.
Yes.
But
who
that's
looks
not
less like your brother than the guy we're talking about.
You know who I'm talking about?
I know who you're talking about.
100%.
You
Christian
look like his stunt. You look like him if he got stung by a fucking bee.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of bees.
Jesus Christ. That you're really seriously no relation to that dude.
No relation.
Wow.
Yeah. No, Christian can attest. We go out together, and it actually just happened last time we hung out. We were sitting at brunch, and complete stranger, like who was sitting at a table eating brunch next to us, stands up from her table, walks over to our table and goes, I have to know. Are you guys twins? And him and I look at each other, and without skipping a beat, we go, yep. And she looks over, she goes, I knew it! I knew they were twins!
Well, dude, it's so obvious that you wouldn't even have to ask that. Because I'm like, oh, that's his brother. And the fact is, how weird was it when you met this person? Because you had to look at each other and go, are you me? Like, it's that fucking crazy.
Hilariously enough, we looked nothing alike in high school.
I was about to say, when I met, because only reason I know Damien is through this person, and so I did not think of it at all at first, and then you both started to grow beards, and then I think that's where beards, and then this person got glasses. The beards and glasses, and then that's when I really started to notice it, hanging out with them, going to the bars.
All right, nice. What are you guys drinking this evening?
Damien, you want to go first?
No.
All right, I'll go
All right,
first.
you're up, Christian.
I have a nice fuck you.
So I'll just
Payback is a bitch. It's only been months in the making.
The best is it's a fucking Miller Lite with a fuck you blue painter's tape on it.
My wife was like, why are you taping a beer right now? I was like, it's for a bit.
It's for a bit.
In case you were wondering, Mike, he was not having camera issues. He was making that at the last minute.
No, I made it beforehand, but knew the camera had to work for the bit to work, and so.
Oh, that's good shit, dude.
Worth being late.
Better
never than late,
bitch.
Yep.
Oh my god. So for those that don't know, I was on their podcast, Remain, Rome, Return, which is fantastic. It's great. So I find out that Christian is dyslexic, and I set up this nice little piece where I basically tell him the story about my daughter and dyslexic classmates, and it's like the all-time misdirect. And I hold up a sign that says fuck you with scrambled letters.
Yep.
And I said, my daughter made this for you. She told me you would know what it meant. And he just wrote fuck you on a beer can and showed it to me, which is I love it. Good
That's
one.
Full circle, baby.
That is
a good
fantastic. Was that a Miller Lite or was that something else?
No, it is a Miller Lite.
Okay. Was it what was that, like a 16 ounce or 20 ounce?
Nice little tall boy.
Okay.
Sippy sippy.
It looked like one of the, hold that up again. Let's see this thing. Oh, okay. You know what?
We
It
will
looked
not
like,
bow to sponsors.
no. It looked like one of those drinks, the seltzers with the thinner can.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Tune into the Remain, Rome, Return podcast if you want to see somebody house 16 of those in one episode.
Go on. I'm listening. Is that
that's
a thing?
just me every time.
Oh, how many drinks have you put down on an episode?
I think, well, the thing is that I always pregame, if you know anything about us Midwesterners. Before you do any activity, you must have the inaugural pre-drinks. Right?
Yeah, always.
So generally, before we start, I take 3 or 4 shots of whiskey just to loosen up a little bit. And then I'll usually have anywhere from 4 to 6 seltzers on the air.
Christian? Does this guy take a lot of bathroom breaks, or what's going on, dude?
No, well, usually by the time we're done, he's like, I have to piss so bad, and then he has to go. I was trying to think of our in-person episode, how many
oh my god,
we did a
go
few,
through like two 36 packs of beer.
We went through a lot of beer when I went to visit Damien in LA, because it was during the summer. Damien has a fantastic, if you can just imagine what you think the perfect LA backyard would be, and that's what Damien has. Just like a amazing pool, like a bungalow situation.
Oh, nice.
Fire pit, and then his view is over, you can see the buildings of downtown LA, and he's up on a fucking mountain.
Nice, dude. So I picture that, and I also picture the backyard from Fast and the Furious, with a bunch of sketchy characters cooking fucking meats
and just
on an
screaming
old car.
family.
Yeah, family. Coronas.
Cooking on the exhaust pipe.
Yeah.
Hey, really happy that you are safe from all the fires, and I hope nothing was damaged, and that everyone you know is okay, because that was pretty rough to watch from afar. So I can't imagine what it was like, being smack dab in the middle of it.
Yeah, luckily I piss in my yard so much that the flames did not have a chance of penetrating that. So
Nice.
I really kept us safe.
Yeah.
It was really good.
You're a man of the people. Did you piss on your
However-
neighbor's house? That's what you should have pissed on your neighbor's house that you don't like. It's like, don't worry, man. I'm doing it for you.
It's
I'm
fire
doing it for your
retardant.
kids. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It's something, that's for sure. No, I did want to. Speaking of man of the people, this is what I'm drinking tonight.
Ooh, that
A little
is
bit of Four Walls whiskey.
Yeah.
It's Always Sunny, guys.
Rob McElhenney. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it any good?
I mean, I like it. That's not saying much.
Well, you're
true.
pale
I
and
like it.
redhead. I assume if it's fucking brown liquor, you probably like it. We don't have
Yep.
taste buds sometimes.
Yeah.
Drown it down with brown.
Yeah. What about you, Christian? Do you like anything besides beer? What's your poison?
I usually stick to beer, but I love gin too much where it tastes too good, and that leads to problems.
Do you have a favorite gin?
I love a good Beefeater.
Beef eater. Have you ever had Hendrix?
Yep, Hendrix.
You like
I've-
Hendrix?
Yeah, I've had them all. I just really prefer Beefeater out of all. I've had like Bombay, Tanqueray, like some of the fancier ones. Speaking of like the Always Sunny area, like Ryan Reynolds has his Aviation, which is pretty decent. but-
Yeah. We had that at our wedding. Real good.
yeah,
Real good.
Also, like a good Costco gin.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Big
you-
Kirkland fans.
You guys live where they sell alcohol in normal places.
Oh yeah, I forgot you're in Pennsylvania. Where you
Yeah.
have to go to like weird places that aren't open on Sundays, right?
Yeah, bro. We have liquor stores, and then we have beer distributors.
Yeah.
So if it's, and I think we had talked about that, it's
I
like,
think
yeah,
so.
if it's 18, basically, if somebody puts a table in their establishment and serves any food, they can technically get a liquor license that a restaurant would be able to get. But then when you're buying alcohol, you have to buy it the way you would at a restaurant. So it's like, you can't walk up and go, hi, can I have 13 beers, please? And then I'm going to come back in another minute and buy 13 more. And they're like, sure thing. So yeah, you gotta jump through some fucking hoops.
Yeah. No, here, at least in the Midwest, and I think it's like you literally can go anywhere. Like a gas station will just have handles of alcohol on display.
7-Eleven, baby.
Aren't you guys supposed to be the ones that are like, I mean, I know it's not Bible Belt because that's the South, but aren't you supposed to be the folks that are held back and not really progressive in the way we get our alcohol served to us?
No.
No?
The Midwest is like I live technically in one of the like top binge drinking cities.
Yeah, where
Nice.
Christian and I are. So I don't know how familiar everyone is with us at all. I mean, why would they be? Who are we? But essentially, a shameless plug real quick. The Remain Roma Term podcast is Christian and I grew up in the same hometown of Omaha, Nebraska. Mm-hmm. He moved all over the place and went back to Lincoln, Nebraska, and I went to L.A. But we both grew up in the same town. And essentially, Omaha, Nebraska is binge drink central.
Nice.
That's what it is.
I think it has to be. It's just the Midwest thing. Like I'm borderline Midwest.
You're
I'm right
adjacent.
smack.
Yeah.
I'm just in the middle. I'm adjacent, right? I'm an hour from Ohio, and once you hit Ohio, that's technically the Midwest. And I drink like I'm from the Midwest.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I learned something the other day.
Oh God.
We're
I
laughing.
think I learned something.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Isn't Pennsylvania the Mid-Atlantic?
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So I think that's what are we called in hockey? What's our division? I fucking forget, but it's something Atlantic, I think.
Yeah, I think it's the middle.
And yeah, Mid-Atlantic, and then we're like right there with the Northeast.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I never really know what to say.
Especially like, yeah, it's because I consider like especially Pittsburgh part of the Rust Belt.
Yes. Not so much anymore, but it's still technically like if you would
Yeah.
Google Rust Belt, Pittsburgh's going to come up.
I think
Appalachian. We're in the the hills of Appalachian, which a lot of people say Appalachian.
That's how
my
we say
wife
it.
has now convinced me to say Appalachian. No, I'm holding firm on pop though. She says soda. Fuck that.
Nope, it's pop.
I go in between just because of all the places I've lived.
Yeah. Where all of you lived?
So, lived in like Ann Arbor, Michigan for a year. So just outside of Detroit, and then I lived in Colorado for 2 years, and then Iowa for 2 years, and then back in Nebraska.
Sorry about Iowa, man. That sucks.
It wasn't great.
I know how you fucking people feel about Iowa.
Yeah, because I think you've mentioned you have a friend who's from Nebraska, and like it's just like a shittier version of Nebraska, which Nebraska already isn't. Like, so it's like shittier than shit. So
nice.
Yeah, it's just a weird place that like there's technically a lot of people, but like I was like in the Des Moines metro, so like the big city area, and it's just like it's all suburbs. Like the actual city doesn't exist; it's just suburbs. And
yeah, I've noticed like some of those smaller cities, like Pittsburgh's a small city, unless you're from out in the middle of nowhere. Then you're like, wow, it's a city, and you're like, yeah, this is not a big city. But like I have this idea of what I think Midwest cities look like, and I'm always shocked when. Like, I don't picture Chicago, put it that way. I picture, like, towns. I picture, like, the movie Nebraska.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, all those movies that have that little one, that street that's probably called Main Street.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
And that's what I picture. Like, I mean, towns like that.
You're not.
Those are real.
Yeah.
It's just not all of Nebraska.
I would say from, like, people I know, Omaha and Pittsburgh are very similar. In a lot of aspects, because I've known people who've lived in both. Weirdly, like they both have high Jewish populations.
Oh, dude, yeah, Pittsburgh's super Jewish,
and so is Omaha. So you see a lot of like back and forth between, and so I think they're very similar in that aspect. And just, I consider Pittsburgh a fairly big city because you have pro sports teams.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
And that,
we got one of the biggest Jewish populations, I think, in the country.
It's got to be.
At least there's a neighborhood called Squirrel Hill that's pretty. Yeah, I said, I don't know if you can say it's super Jewish.
No, dude, we have the most Jews ever, like for sure.
Yes,
and it's like you say it, and it's not an insult. You're just like, yeah, man, it's super Jewish.
No, I would say it's probably you guys, New York, and L.A.
Yeah,
it's got to be up there. That and St. Patty's Day parades, we've got. Like a top 5 in the country.
Mm-hmm.
That's
nothing on Boston though.
No, nothing.
Boston and Chicago, baby.
Chicago for sure.
Yeah, Chicago's big. I hear they dye the river green, or at least they said that in The Fugitive. I don't know if it's true.
They do.
It's true.
I've seen it.
It is true.
It is.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Oh, you've been there.
Yeah. It's.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's like one of those things. It's like the town just shuts down. Like.
Oh shit.
We talk about our love for Chicago quite a bit on our show.
So you do love Chicago. Chicago's a cool town.
It fucking rules, dude.
I know a lot of people from Chicago, and they're all fucking awesome. But I've only ever laid over at the airport.
No,
that's about it.
Make a trip. If you ever go over there, let us know. We'll meet you over there.
Okay.
Yeah. No, they have. For like it's the 3rd biggest city in the U.S. So like you go there, and it does feel like New York in a lot of aspects of like the buildings, and then like the food seems crazy.
I need food, man. Yeah. I need food.
There's no shortage of it in Chicago. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
So my buddy from Nebraska, he had told me about these. What's that?
Propane, right?
Propane accessories.
His buddy's the propane guy, but he told me you have something out there called runzas.
Yes. Oh my God! Yes, my first job ever.
So he just described them as kind of like these sort of meat pockets or something.
I think it's so it's like a dough, and then filled with like technically like ground beef and cabbage and like seasoning, which sounds like gross to a lot of people, but it's very hearty. It's me and Damien have talked a lot about it on our podcast, and like I love it enough where I have like shirts from this fast food establishment.
Nice.
It's the in and out of the Midwest.
You know, I've never eaten it In and Out. We don't have those.
Yeah.
Do you guys have White Castles?
No.
I don't know that we do.
I think it's more of an East Coast thing.
Yeah, you have Crystals, right?
No, that's
I don't
like
think so.
That's like a southern
you both
thing.
shook your head. No, okay, that's a southern thing.
Yeah. No, I think the closest White Castle, I think they have them in Chicago, and I think they have them up in Minneapolis. I've definitely drunkenly ate at a White Castle in Minneapolis.
Right.
I buy. So my mother-in-law has this thing, and they kind of sneak out, and it's like this little treat. But I don't know if it was Harold and Kumar when I saw that, where it was like I have to eat these things, and when I finally did, I was fucked up, and I was like, these are incredible, and it's the best food you've ever eaten, and it's somehow the worst thing you've ever eaten at the same time. But they sell the Crave cases, which is 32 of them, and I always see how many I can get through. I think my record in one sitting, the problem is I'm normally eating all day when I'm with my in-laws. I got through like 13 of them, which is a decent dent.
That's pretty good.
It's a decent dent, but like I'm trying to get the whole case.
Yeah.
I don't think it's possible.
I think that's got to be like a food, like an ESPN food eating challenge. Like, you know, when you're watching the fucking Nathan's hot dog eating contest, and they have like their like credentials listed, and it probably has like how many fucking White Castle burgers they've eaten the most White Castle burgers of like 400, and it's like, that's too many,
bro. If you ever want to be sick, look up the competitive eating world records.
They are astounding.
Have you looked them up?
I've seen some. I think I watched the documentary. There's a really good documentary that I cannot think of the name of that like goes over the like food eating competition scene and like the competitives and like the weird like cliques of it.
Yeah.
And like
they're like gangs, dude.
Yeah.
Most of it's food. But then you get something where it's like 11 pounds of mayonnaise in 8 minutes. And I'm not joking. It just, there's a mayonnaise record. They just hard boiled eggs. They just have all these random ass things. And you're like, one, who does that? And then two, like, how do you know that you beat the record?
I just assume if you eat that much mayo, you just turn into a dollop.
A dollop.
Like you just
Daisy.
melt into a dollop of fucking cholesterol.
I want to do like a competitive eating contest and then get good blood work done.
Yeah.
And
oh
just
my God,
see
that's a good idea.
the doctor's like, I don't know if you should be alive.
It's so funny. We're getting so old that our version of Jackass is just eating like shit and going to the doctor.
Yeah.
You didn't say what you were drinking. What are you drinking? You have something festive looking.
Me?
Yeah, you.
He did. He showed the bottle.
Oh,
Over.
Hold on. No, you showed me the bottle, but show me the cup. Hold that cup up again.
It's one of the. It's a colored glass.
Oh,
It's just 4 walls
That's
on ice.
That's his podcast and drinking cup.
okay. So that what you're drinking is not blue. That's the glass.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. I thought you made some fancy cocktail. I thought you were drinking Hypnotic like it was a fucking 1990s rap video. Fucking Diddy was going to come out and diddle you.
Where's my baby oil?
Where's that baby?
I know I keep it around here somewhere.
Are you guys like me and never left your hometown? Perhaps you moved away and never looked back. Maybe you moved and for whatever reason found yourself right back where you started. Remain, Roam, Return is the weekly podcast hosted by friends Damien and Christian who chat with people who have done all of the above. Damien was raised in Nebraska and now resides on the West Coast. Christian apparently likes corn and cows so fucking much he never left. I don't know. But join these two really funny guys as they bring on people from all over to discuss just what it's like to remain, roam, or return. Check them out on Apple Podcast, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.
Hey, actually, real quick, I hear there's actually something to cheers about with you. Didn't you just finish the Paddy Wagon bar?
Oh my goodness.
Should we cheers to that?
We should cheers to that. Cheers to this.
Hold
Hats off.
Hold on.
He's going swigging. He's going swigging.
Mom!
Here he goes. Cheers.
Sláinte, my friend.
Sláinte, my friend.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So I'll post some pictures.
It looks fucking magical.
Well, here's what's even cooler. So we bought shiplap, but like a burnt wood type thing, kind of
nice.
the look of reclaimed barn wood.
Oh, sure.
Right, but at 1/1,000,000th of the price of reclaimed barn wood. Which again,
You're not Ashton Kutcher.
Being from Nebraska, you know all about barnwood. And if you were lucky enough to own a barn and you said, hey, I want to rip this bitch apart board by board, you could take all the money that you got from an old dilapidated barn and build a mansion with how much people that do woodwork would pay for good, solid 150-year-old oak. But the guys actually just finished up the bar today. The electrician was here, finished all of the electrical work, obviously. He's an electrician. Plumber's done. They're going to come up tomorrow and kind of button up the last remaining little pieces of the basement. So we had a baby who turns actually 6 months old tomorrow. And because of that, yeah, buddy, little Emmett, we call him Emsworth.
Yeah. Emmett Smith, baby.
Yeah, Emmett. And so our guest room became the nursery. The basement became kind of a, let's buy a love sack, which is not reasonably priced, but at least it turns into a bed. And they are very, very comfortable to sleep on.
They are.
So we went that route. Love sack, tin roof, crusty.
So there's actually, if we're talking about basements in Pittsburgh.
We're talking about basements, baby. Buckle in.
Oh, here we go. I heard Pittsburgh and basements, and I know where this is going.
Let's go.
I 100% you probably know.
Yep.
The Pittsburgh Toilet.
Yep.
And I recently had to explain that to someone because we have them here in the Midwest as well.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. Like we're
By the way, can that be the name of this episode, the Pittsburgh Toilets?
Yes, the Pittsburgh Toilets.
Because my buddy bought a house here in Lincoln recently, and I've had them in other houses I've lived in where like it is like a partially finished basement, and then the unfinished part, there's just like a toilet, and that's it. And everyone's like, what is this for? And I was like, that's a Pittsburgh toilet. They're like, what do you mean that's a Pittsburgh toilet? Like, that's just a thing.
But what do you mean?
But what do you mean? So I was always told this. Dirty people that worked in steel mills came in, they shit in the basement, they showered, they did everything down there. Apparently, that's not true.
That is not true.
It is just the easiest way to put something in your house that allows the water to fill up in so that the basement doesn't flood.
Yep.
And you can take a shit in it.
Yep.
I think I learned something today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And that was probably within the last few years that I knew that. I was at a party once and somebody had one at their basement and I begged, and I mean I begged to shit in the middle of this party. Like there was like
please let me shit in your house, dude. Come on.
Please,
there was like girls everywhere. And I was like, dude,
they can wash. I don't care. It's fine.
They were playing beer pong. And I just thought it would be so funny that if somebody just turned around and they're like, is that dude shitting in the corner of your basement? Actually, not even the corner. Is that dude shitting in the middle of your basement? It would have been fucking awesome. And he just would not let me do it.
Fucking buzzkill, dude.
Yeah,
that's what I love
seriously.
about like every Pittsburgh toilet I've ever seen is not in like a location that it shouldn't be. It's always,
never like hidden behind a furnace.
No, it's right in the middle. It's just a toilet in the middle of it, usually an unfinished basement.
Yeah, 100%.
And then when you finish the basement, you're like, what am I doing with this?
Actually, one of the many houses I lived in as a child when we moved around a lot. One of the first houses that my mom was able to buy as a single mom literally had a toilet next to the washer and dryer downstairs. Yeah, no door. It was just right next to it.
That is 100% a Pittsburgh toilet.
Oh yeah, yeah. I would call that a Pittsburgh toilet. It was in the basement.
It was in the basement, unfinished. And then essentially what we did is we just put up drywall and then just called that my bedroom.
Oh yeah, I've always wanted to shit. I want to be the first person to build a toilet that goes into a car, because I've said that quite a few times. Like remove the passenger seat, put like a comfy toilet in there, and just shit on road trips. So
that's a really good idea.
Gotta be done.
Just an RV, right?
Well, yeah, if you want to be fancy about it. But I was just thinking like a fucking Ford Taurus, that would work too.
And then when people get in and you get like ready for your road trip, you just go, does shit roll downhill? Now it does.
So you guys have an open invite to the Paddy Wagon Pub.
Ooh,
Let's go.
Which so they finished up everything today. I'll post some pictures. I'll send you guys some pictures after the episode. We just got to clean up a few things tomorrow. So the bar front and the sides are exactly the same as the wall behind it. So
Okay, nice.
It's got like that shiplap.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow we're putting a TV because you can't have a bar without a TV.
No,
They're going to
you
do a
can't. Of
mirror on the
course.
wall on the left, TV in the middle, and then 3 shelves on each side that we're going to put bourbon on.
Ooh.
Beautiful.
So,
Count us in. We'll do a live ep.
Yeah.
yeah. That's, my wife said that. She goes, "You going to do a recording down there?" I said, "I think we have to.
You
Yeah.
have to.
Maybe throw up something that would absorb some of the sound, but
I thought you were
overall,
going
I
to
don't give a
say
shit."
maybe throw up. I was like, I can
Well, we're going
almost
to do
count
that
on
too.
it.
Well, yeah, that's my MO in life.
Yeah.
So,
Wait, I want to ask you too. The banner behind you, is that superimposed in, or did you add that?
no, that's so a buddy of mine got me an O'Brien flag. Well, Irish
of
flag
arms?
with O'Brien in the middle with my coat of arms. And does it look red or orange behind me?
It's a little reddish.
Okay.
So
So it looks like
behind
an
your
Italian
chair-
flag.
Yeah. Behind your chair, it looks a little orange, but the actual coat of arms looks like pinkish red.
Okay, so the coat of arms is actually red. Behind
Okay.
my chair is orange. And I had a guest on recently, a Mexican guy.
Oh,
And then I'm looking behind me and I'm like, I wonder if he's going to think that I put this up. And he's like, 1, you don't have to go that far, buddy. 2, that is not a fucking Mexican flag.
Yeah.
So,
you
Not
get an
yet.
Italian guy. It's
yeah,
like "Mamma
Mexican American,
mia."
I should say. look at the, I can't, oh, geez.
Oh, that
I shit the bed on
You
the,
okay,
what
dude?
was-
Yeah.
you're right.
I just had a stroke, a mini stroke.
Look at hey, look.
sh- I shit the bed on what was going to be the worst fucking Italian accent ever. I couldn't pull the trigger and
No,
just
he's-
stopped and started stuttering.
You don't want me to try.
It's me, Mario. That's not
Give me
bad.
that gabagool.
Gabagool. That's just New Jersey.
Yeah, that's a Jersey thing. But you
What's
got to
the
say
difference?
gabagool. You got to say
Gabagool.
gabagool.
Gotta say gabagool. That's all I like to eat. But yeah, so in person, definitely
Yep.
on the East Coast. See, here's a cool thing: is we got a podcast studio on the East Coast.
Yep.
We got a podcast studio in the Midwest.
Mm-hmm.
We got a podcast studio on the West Coast. So
There we go.
we're one area away from being worldwide.
We are.
Mr. Worldwide.
Mr.
Worldwide.
Worldwide,
Call me Pitbull, baby.
call me Pittsburgh Bull.
So when are we thinking? What are we going to do?
I'm thinking maybe like mid 26
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
works
Yeah,
for me.
that'll work. Awesome. Are we
Got a
bringing
couple other
wives
things
or is it a
going on.
guy's trip?
Dude, who needs them?
That's
I,
what I'm
I don't know
saying.
if my wife will be like, "Hey, you want to go to Pittsburgh?"
You want to go to
Nobody
Pittsburgh
ever-
and watch me podcast?
No,
She'd be
actually,
like, no.
she would want to come. I think we talked about this on. She wants to go to the Pirates. She loves. She like grew up loving baseball because of her dad. Very like stereotypical dad of like, was just one tryout away from the MLB, baby.
Oh,
just,
yeah. If
Put
my
me in
knee
state.
hadn't given out,
yeah.
I'd have been in Double A.
Yep. And so she grew up loving baseball, and so both of our dreams is eventually to go to every park, but we both really want to go to
PNC.
PNC because it's just gorgeous. Which
think
if
we
you
talked
want to
about.
learn more about that, listen to our episode.
Your episode, yeah.
Living in Pittsburgh. with
Pittsburgh.
Mike O'Brien.
Mike
Yeah.
O'Brien.
One of
yeah.
our best.
You come out here. Well, first off, it's like if you're not from here, that's got to be a thing.
Oh, yeah.
Summer, go drink a shit ton of beer, watch the game, catch an Uber or the trolley, get the hell out of town, and then come back here and drink, which is
Oh, yeah.
which is the plan.
No,
So-
my old broad is definitely going to want to tag along.
Please.
She loves a good travel. She loves your podcast, and she loves
Oh, cool.
my episode on yours and yours on ours.
Nice.
She's a big fan, so she was like, we definitely gotta go over there. And
Yeah,
hang out.
my-
so she's interested already.
My wife is awesome, which I'm gonna have her on to do a couple different things. One, I think just
Whoa. That's for OnlyFans.
oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's
Patreon.
That's behind
Patreon.
a paywall.
There you go.
But we're thinking, so she's a chiropractor. We're thinking doing kind of like a medical sort of thing, doctor
There you go.
episode, and then just having her on to go, what is it like to be married to a fucking dipshit
Dude.
for an hour and 15 minutes, which I'm sure she has plenty of stories.
We're about to, so I'm about in a little less than a month now. Me and my wife are going to visit Damien and his wife out in LA.
Nice.
And we're finally going to do a wives episode.
Nice.
In-person wives episode.
Eat all his salt.
Oh, yeah.
Again.
Eat all the salt.
Luckily it's not summer, so hopefully I don't have to consume. Maybe we'll get more liquid IVs.
What do you do in the winter? Do you still get out and run like a psycho, or do you got a treadmill? You go to the gym, or do you just
No,
stay the
so
hell with
I
it?
like ran outside today, and it was
Negative
like,
degrees.
yeah. So we have our episode about my snot sickles, because like my nose runs and then it gets trapped in my mustache, and then I look like a walrus because it freezes. Yeah, no, I'm still running outside. Ran outside today. It wasn't too bad. I think it was like the wind chill was like 4.
Is it bad for you? Good for you? Does it matter to run when it's that cold?
As
Like on your
long as-
lungs?
Yeah, it's not too bad. Like I don't know. I think I'm now just conditioned for it. So like if I were to like, I'm actually afraid to run in LA because it's gonna be like too nice of weather where I'm gonna be like, it's 1,000 degrees out here, and Damien's gonna be like, I'm wearing a winter coat right now.
Tomorrow is supposed to be 80 degrees. So
Fuck you, pal.
Jesus.
Fuck you right where you poop. I don't need to deal with that.
Yeah.
Well,
80 degrees, is it really?
yeah, it's supposed to be.
Oh, my God. Dude, I would
It may or
kill.
may not be a couple of degrees off. So we'll
That's
see.
fine. That is fine. Damn it.
Hey, I'm
I'll
excited.
suffer through.
It's going to be potentially 60 degrees here on Monday, which would mean it would be a 90-degree difference.
Oh, my God.
Get ready for a fucking winter tornado, my dog.
What do
Dude,
we
yeah,
have?
that's the only bit. Like, the spring here is just terrible.
For the next 2 weeks, the highest I see is 48.
Okay, that's not horrible.
I can deal with that. I can deal with. I mean, here's the thing: you live certain areas, you just deal with cold, deal with
Yeah.
hot. Pittsburgh and Nebraska, as I know, is really got a wide range of
Oh,
temperatures.
it's the worst place to live for weather. Like,
You could probably have snow, and then somehow, like the same week, have it be 80 degrees.
yeah.
It's happened. It's
Of course, it has.
It's actually
it's snowed on like May 5th, and then like a week later was like 90 degrees.
yeah,
That's
it's actually one
insane.
of the main reasons I left. I was like, I can't. I'm bipolar enough. I don't need the weather to match it.
And like I feel like I caused this like cold spell. Last week has been very cold because I was talking so much mad shit to Damien of it. Like it has been one of the, like up until a week ago, one of the mildest winters here. Like we didn't have snow for like a year.
Well, I told him, I said, you keep talking all this shit about the weather. I'm going to get all my Jew friends over there in Omaha to change the weather patterns.
I heard they can do that.
Yeah.
They can.
What
Shout
is
out.
global warming?
Shout out Jew friends. Love you, baby.
Yeah. I will say that I found it funny that global warming is not real, but then the same people that say global warming is not real said somebody can control the weather.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
The humor behind that is amazing, by the way.
and it is lost on them, just so you know.
Yeah.
Yes, it is not. They're not picking up on what I'm putting down.
Yeah.
So
Putting down a couple of hoagies.
Yeah.
hoagies and that. You got to say in that.
And Nat over there in them
And
Johns.
that. What are you doing?
What you doing over there in them Johns?
That's pretty
I
good.
don't. You went through like 4 different accents in that one sentence.
I don't do impressions.
But he did. He hit that syllable. That. Say it again. It
them
was like,
Johns.
Johns.
Jones.
Them
Downtown.
Johns.
You gotta go downtown.
Gotta go downtown over there.
There, it's not bad. It's
I
not
feel
bad.
like
See?
it, like
Christian
bore-
only talks shit about me, dude.
I feel
All
like
right,
it-
fuck you, Christian. Mike's my new Triple R
There we go. You're
co-host.
out, dude.
You're out. He's in.
you could already barely make it work with our time zone difference. You're gonna add an extra hour to that.
You're right. I take it back.
We had a podcast at 10 a.m. your time.
I almost died.
Were you drinking during that podcast?
Of course I was drinking during that podcast.
I
drank the night before.
Yeah. I was severely hungover
Christian,
during that.
I forgot you almost you almost canceled.
It was
one of those ones where you're dry heaving the next morning.
Yeah, it wasn't dry.
I was wet heaving.
Good thing you had the Pittsburgh Toilet.
I got sick like 5 minutes before the episode started, and then powered through. I called it my Michael Jordan flu game. I was hitting it. And
my favorite is as soon as we hit end and she left, he goes, "Oh my God."
Now, were you able to pull it off, or did you tell the person that was on you were sick?
I think
I made fun of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't let that go. Come on now.
Yeah.
You got to fuck with people when they're sick, but then when it's you, you're like, why are you doing this to me?
Why do you hate me?
When I was in California and I was fucking destroyed, which I told you guys that, I believe, fucking the worst of my life. And then the next morning trying to eat breakfast to get something. And my buddy's like, hey, salmon scramble.
Oh, don't ever put salmon and scramble together.
Yeah, salmon scramble. And I was out. I was like, I'm going to go back and try to gag myself.
Yeah.
I don't have to be hungover to hate that. That sounds terrible.
It doesn't sound good. And I love fish. I don't know. Well, like, I'm really hoping it was eggs, but it didn't specify. It's salmon scramble.
Salmon scramble. That sounds fucking terrible.
I'm just picturing they just have salmon on a hoo-ha grill, just
like Benihana.
Yeah. Fucking Steve Aoki's dad.
Oh my God! Hey, you were a chef before, you said, right?
Yes.
Loose term for chef.
Loose term. So I've seen these videos recently, and I think it's called omu rice, but it's like an omelet that they somehow get it to almost form like a water balloon, and they put it over top of ice, and they cut it.
It's
and it
really
opens
cool.
up. Can you do that?
Not a fucking chance.
Okay, yeah.
I don't have the nimble Asian fingers.
You need the Asian
fumble
fingers.
around and
He has fingers
fat
made
Irish hands.
for cabbage and corned beef.
Cabbage and kielbasa, baby.
Oh, that's my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we'll be doing. We'll be doing some cabbage and corned beef on St. Patrick's Day, which is always a staple. And with the new bar, I'm super OCD about things. Like, I didn't realize how bad I was. Yeah. And I'm like, I need a seasonal beer list. So I've got 4 shelves that hold 18 beers apiece.
Yeah.
And I've done the math, and I've done all this weird shit. And I'm like, okay, so I can do 3 rows of 6. Or I can do 18. So I'm going to have a shelf of a staple, which would be like a Yingling or a light beer or a lager, ale, something like that, right? Just something that you can drink whenever. And then reserve the top 2 shelves for kind of a seasonal rotation. So I actually have a spreadsheet with like H lookups and V lookups and all the shit in, so I can sort by all the different types of beer and whatnot. The fact is I never really did that. I just drank. Like, I'd be the guy going, somebody's like, are you drinking a fucking 12% IPA beer in 95-degree heat?
Yes.
And I'm like, yeah, it's actually peanut butter flavored too. Like, just pounding something that like you shouldn't be doing.
It's just
for the love of the game.
Like,
it's just
lead
always
in your
so good.
gut.
IPAs just go down good. But I've got, oh God, I'll send you guys pictures. I have probably 12 different styles of beer glasses. 4 different styles of wine glasses. It makes a huge difference.
Do you have a Guinness glass?
So I have a Guinness pint glass, but it's not. So that's my, O'Brien Pub.
Yeah. Okay.
But I have the style of glass, but I don't have the actual Guinness glasses.
That'll have to be the bar warming gift for you.
That would be pretty sweet. But I do have the proper, I got the proper barware for everything. If you got whiskey on the rocks, you got a certain glass. If you want it neat, you get a certain glass. I forget what they're called. The little kind of snifter looking things, but they're not quite a snifter for bourbon. But yeah, man, I got a ton of stuff. that I'm looking forward to drinking out of, but I now need the beers to go in those things, and that's where you guys come in. And you say, hey, here's a good seasonal thing that you can drink in the fall or in the winter, in the summer. That was a good one. But that's what I need.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
any suggestions? Let's go winter first. You guys like darker beers?
Well, not to be a snob, but
Here
if
he
you
goes.
don't have a PBR, I'm out.
I could get. Do you like PBR?
No, Christian does.
I love PBR.
Really?
It's my go. Like you were talking about, like we don't have Yuling here.
I could tell by the way you said it.
Yeah.
He's like, we don't drink
Yingling.
Yuling. And I'm like, neither do I, motherfucker.
Yes, Yingling, whatever.
Whatever that
called.
is. Are you trying to say Riesling?
So,
Yes.
PBR.
It's if I'm at like a bar, that's usually my go-to. Or me and Damien both drink a lot of Michelob Ultra for some reason.
Not a bad
Mickey.
beer. Not a
Little
bad
Mickey
beer.
Ultras.
Not a bad beer at all.
Well, so I don't know if we've actually talked about it on our podcast. I have a a food intolerance to brewer's yeast.
Okay.
So I'm not allergic, but so like you know how people are lactose intolerant?
Yes.
So if they drink milk, they shit themselves.
Right.
So that's what happens to me if I drink unpasteurized beer.
Okay.
Which was a lot of trying to because I just knew like beers made. I used to love like micro beer brews, going to brewer like local breweries and all that stuff.
Okay.
But like I would feel sick after just like a beer or two, and my wife was like, "You're just getting old. That's just being hangovers." I'm like, I don't think that's right.
This is not that.
Yep. And then so I gave up beer for like a year, and then I was like, okay, we're gonna start trying things. And then I did like a blood test, like one of those like intolerance tests to see like what I shouldn't eat and stuff. And it was like, oh, brewer's yeast, and I was like, huh, okay. Now I know this. So like I first tried like a Bud Light, did fine with that, and then did some research, and then it was like, oh yeah, as long as it's pasteurized, I can have it essentially.
So what is? Okay, hold on a second. When I think of pasteurized, I think of things like milk, right? Which I believe is heated to a certain temperature to get rid of all bacteria. So they do the same thing with beer.
Yep. So I now know. So pretty much every major domestic, so like any Budweiser, Coors, Miller product, has been pasteurized because of the shipping of it.
Interesting.
And then any international beer that comes into the States has to be pasteurized as well. So I can have every international. Where it gets tricky is like microbreweries.
So they can do whatever they want.
Yeah, so really anyone can do whatever they want, but it's more about traveling, and it is kind of expensive, I guess, for breweries to pasteurize beer because it's like extra equipment. And so I've actually I bought microbrews and then just pasteurized it myself because all you have to do is heat it up to a certain temperature. And then my wife was like, "You look like an alcoholic right now for pasteurizing your beer." So you can drink it. Because there was a microbrew I really wanted from when I lived in Fort Collins that I was like, I want this. And so I took like a big old chili pot, filled it with water, and then heated it up to pasteurize it. Okay. And then they were fine to drink.
So, Jesus Christ. Oh, you're a fucking lunatic. I just want to get that off my chest. I think you're a great guy. I do. I think you're swell.
I'm just a beer aficionado.
That's like, fine. I mean,
Mike, I think we learned something.
Go on. What did we learn? Because did you know this?
I did not know that. I think we learned something.
Yeah.
Dude, you heat it up to a certain temperature and then straight into the fridge, let it get cold, and then drink it, or did you drink that shit warm?
No, well, I'm not that of a.
You're not that much of a psycho.
No, I let it go to room temperature and then put it in the fridge.
Okay.
Just drinks it hot out of the chili pot.
like molded wine.
Well, he heated up his own beer in a chili pot. I had to ask. I'm like, well, fuck, he may have had it warm.
The trick is to just open your throat as wide as you can.
Boiling, like coffee
It's like a
level
hot toddy
temperature.
with AIDS.
Yeah, it's like those castle invaders. You know, when they're trying to invade the castle, you just dump hot boiling shit
Oh
on them. He's
my
like,
God.
yeah, like the ancestors, just dump it down my gullet.
Oh, good God. So how was the beer?
It was good. It lost like a little bit of its flavor.
How'd the carbonation, how did that change?
It held up fine because
You had to have, you took the lid off, I assume, right?
No.
Oh, you left the lid off. You didn't boil it. I mean, weren't you worried about it exploding?
It just shatters.
No, because I want
No,
to
the
say
glass adds a nice texture.
you don't get it up all the way up to boiling. I want to say it's like 165.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that, but
I'm not going to, and I'm never going to have this conversation again.
No, you're gonna be like
It's time to move on.
you're gonna be at a brewery and you're gonna be like, I met this guy who has to boil his own beer so he can drink it.
That's actually why Christian and I don't go out to bars, because he's so needy.
I love this guy. Dude, you're awesome, man. You're one of my favorite human beings. This is great.
Yeah.
But you know what? When you like something, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, and
Like,
so,
jokes aside, like, if you're like,
So we
want
had to do
fucking
the
beer?
podcast.
Yeah, you got to come on, man. My wife likes beer. She's got issues with gluten and all different types of things.
Yeah.
She's not like allergic, but it's more of like maybe an intolerance or something you'd say.
Yeah.
Like, you know, stomach gets jacked up. So I'll find her gluten-free beers, and it's just like, you got to do what you got to do. So
Yep. No.
I don't know what the hell they're made with.
Can I interrupt the conversation, because I've been sitting on a play on words for about 15 minutes now?
He did look impatient, Christian.
He did. He
Go
was
on, carry
squirming.
on.
So he
I
kept
thought he just had to
saying,
pee.
no, he kept saying micro brew
Yeah.
and micro brewing. And my thought is, you're Mike O'Brien.
Yep.
What if it's Mike O'Brewin?
Oh, yeah. I like it.
If you start making your own beer,
I want to.
your pub.
I saw this new thing
Are
called...
they enriching this?
They've got a new at-home brew thing that looks like it's supposed to be pretty slick.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's just called a
Pinter?
bathtub.
It's where I make my
no,
meth.
the Pittsburgh Toilet.
You
Yeah.
just mix it up in the toilet. No, it's called Pinter, and it's got an app, and it's got all the instructions
Yeah.
on the phone. It's this thing sits upright, brews it, and then you turn it. The reviews look pretty good. So
Yeah, I've known a handful of people to use those like kits like that. And the beer
Notice he
turned
spoke
out
of them in the
okay.
past tense. They're no longer
Yeah.
here.
he's like, I don't hang out with them anymore.
No, the
They
people
died.
who are making moonshine are the ones where I had buddies who would make moonshine on like they had like a stovetop distillery, and it's like, I'm not drinking that.
Yeah, they're blind now.
Are you tired of hiring contractors who never show up on time? Or worse, they don't show up at all? How about that gash that shows up at your house in green high heels like she's on one of those dumb fucking TV shows? She thinks she'll win you over with all that sex appeal. The only thing you're guaranteed is a little something called chlamydia. We've all been there, right? You're ready to start your home renovation or repair, but it feels like finding a reliable contractor is like chasing a unicorn. Well, guess what? You don't have to settle for that frustration anymore. Introducing Pittsburgh Pros Contracting, the contractors who actually show up and do what they've promised. Whether you're remodeling your kitchen, finished basement, or a bathroom, Pittsburgh Pros Contracting has got your back. They're punctual, professional, and committed to getting it done right, on time, every time. No more waiting weeks for callbacks, no more surprise delays, just honest quality work that you can count on. If you're ready to get started, visit pittsburghpros.com to contact them for your free estimate and see why homeowners trust Dustin and Matt for jobs big and small. Because at Pittsburgh Pros Contracting, showing up is just the beginning. I still hunt. I didn't get out this year, but my dad shot a nice buck, we'll just say 20 years ago. And it you know, if you know anything about hunting, which you guys are from the Midwest,
Yeah.
either you would hunt or you know somebody who hunts, I'm sure. And deer don't want to die. And most animals
No.
don't want to die. And so what they do is when they get shot, they just run.
Run.
And it's like, I'm
And
going to
they-
go somewhere and I'm going to die by myself and nobody's going to find me.
you have to go
Well, this
find
thing
them.
went down in a valley and it was like treacherous terrain.
Mm-hmm.
But some guy that was in like the cabin down the road had a four-wheeler, which, by the way, what do you guys call four-wheelers? I call them quads.
ATVs.
ATVs?
Four-wheelers.
Okay. So guy goes down. Let me help you get this out. Drags it up the hill for us. Pours us some moonshine. Now, I don't drink hard alcohol at this, but it was homemade.
Yeah.
So he pours it into a Dixie cup, like one of those red Solo cup things, and he sets it down, and he says something, and I'm sitting there, and everyone drinks it, and he's like, whoa, buddy, you got to drink that real fast. That shit eats through the plastic. It's going to spill.
Yep.
So I chugged it real quick to kind of just, man up.
Yep.
And when I looked in the cup, he wasn't kidding. It literally was eating through the plastic.
Yeah.
So I ingested it, and my doctor's going to have some words with me about that one. He's like, you didn't drink moonshine out of a fucking Solo cup before, did you? You have AIDS.
Doc, I got some news for you.
That's when I was
You ever
studying
been deer
abroad,
hunting, Doc?
I had Irish moonshine. They call it poutine, not to get confused with the Canadian poutine. But they didn't tell me what it was until after I drank it. But they're like, it might make you blind. We'll find out. And I was like, what?
Now, that was a bad accent.
I thought that was good.
Oh,
I thought it was good too.
It was not bad.
I just wanted to get back at him. It was
I-
great.
Did you
No, it
tell
wasn't
the Cork dialect? Because that's where I was.
So
Oh,
what
he's
is-
region specific.
He is
Get
region
the fuck
specific.
out of here. I take back my apology. Fuck you.
Yeah, I allow it. I'll allow it. Go ahead. So what is Irish moonshine?
It's very similar to American moonshine.
Okay.
Made out of potatoes.
It's
I
gotta
think it
be.
is.
It may be.
And it's clear and it burns like hell.
The touch of the spud, lad.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And it was also on St. Patrick's Day, and so
You were in Ireland on St. Patrick's Day.
I was.
How fucking crazy was that?
It was so we specifically didn't go to Dublin so we went to Cork, which is like the second major city. And so it was still pretty crazy, but not like Dublin crazy. Probably not even to like Chicago level crazy. It was more like, I don't want to say religious, but more like it felt more like prideful than like drunken-y. But yeah, it was a good time. So it was me and two friends who I was studying in England with, and we did couch surfing, which Damien learned from our last guest, where you just stay at a random stranger's house that you met on the internet.
I thought it was literally taking couch cushions into the ocean. I was flabbergasted.
Yeah.
So you met somebody on the internet.
Yep.
Are there
did
like
it.
forums for this, or do you just randomly?
No, so
Okay.
it's this very specific site, and luckily it was like three guys who were living in a house who were studying at the university there, and they were like, hey, we have a like open bed for the weekend. Do you want it? And we're like, yeah. So it was like me, actually a girl who went to Penn State, and then an Australian guy, and we all shared like a queen size bed and did the Irish stuff.
Yeah, I want to do Irish stuff. I want to go to Ireland and do like a proper St. Patrick's Day because, it doesn't have to be religious, but it also, I think things are ruined when people are like, I'm going to go out and I'm going to get fucking obliterated just to get obliterated. Like the day should be, I'm going to do these fun things. And oh yeah, by the way, the byproduct of those fun things is going to be me puking my guts out at about 5 p.m. Like that's the way it should be. And Damien's shaking his head. He knows.
When I went to Cork, that's how it was. I mean, just balls to the wall all night long, and on your walk back to the hotel, the streets are just lined with vomit.
Oh, really?
And then you wake up in the morning, it's all gone.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, yeah, Cork's a great. I need to eventually go to Dublin, but yeah, no, Cork for St. Patrick's Day. Like, I was in a pub drinking a Guinness, and
warm too. They drink it warmer than we do, right?
Yeah. And it does taste different for sure.
Dude,
I've heard somebody
Guinness
say
here
that
sucks.
before.
And
Guinness in America sucks.
So what I've learned though is if you find the right pubs here in the U.S., it has to be like more in like Boston or like cities that with actual like Irish population. The main reason why it tastes so different is in America or other places, the the lines for the beer from the keg to the tap are different sizes. And so it changes the flavor that way. And then also we just serve beer way too cold, the temperature wise. And so I guess that's a huge difference between I guess the beer lines make a huge difference. Or like
fucking FDA.
how they...
Damn FDA.
Yes.
And plus they probably care for those over there. They'll clean them and take proper maintenance, on all the lines in the equipment, where we don't do that. There's bars, people get some serious fucking illness.
Yeah.
Like, do not drink draft beer. Like, get a bottle.
Yeah.
And then just get sick from the girl sitting next to you at the bar type, thing, if you get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
All right. Oh, shit balls. What do you got behind there picture-wise, Damien? Is that...
this one right here?
To the right. What is that?
This
I
one?
guess that could be your left. Yeah, that one.
The pink one?
Yeah.
So one of the things when I first started traveling a lot was I found street art very intriguing, like spray paint art.
Okay.
And there's actually another one that's off screen over here. This pink one is the Colosseum in Rome with like a pink background. The moon is there, and the dude like spray painted it in front of us. This one right here is just like a spray paint art galaxy.
Okay.
So I went through a huge phase of collecting like street art on vacations because I don't like to bring stuff back because it's like too heavy or I don't have space for it. But this stuff is nice because you can just fold it up or roll it up and put it in your carry-on. So I collected stuff like that for a long time.
We could make out the Colosseum, and then the thing next to it, I was like, is that like, it looks like a guy fishing or somebody pissing on the Colosseum from here.
Oh, no. Yeah, that's a guy. So because me and my wife were there, it's a guy lifting a girl up. Like
now I
Titanic.
see
Dirty
it.
Dancing style.
Now I see it. Dirty Dancing style.
Yeah. Oh, Dirty Dancing. That's right. Not Titanic.
Yeah.
That was I'm King of the World.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, so I don't know. It kind of matches my studio, so to speak, is also my office. But because I sit in here 8 to 10 hours a day, I need some sort of like pick me up. So my big world map is over on my wall here with all the like pins in it from all the places I've been. I have like my travel art around. I have the Cornhusker blanket behind me and stuff like that. Just
You guys both travel a lot.
yeah.
I need to travel more.
Yeah, come on
I've
out
not
to
been
the West Coast.
Yeah, that'll be my next thing. Maybe once I get this FAA shit figured out. I don't know how confident I am getting on an airplane.
I'm a little interested to see flying in the next month from Nebraska to LA on a no layover, like just straight from Nebraska to LA over the Rocky Mountains during winter. So
you can take comfort in the fact that now that we have an LLC, if you die, it goes on the business account.
yeah, I didn't buy it on the business. We still haven't set up.
You fucking idiot, dude.
We haven't
You're
set up
so
the bank
dumb,
account.
Where's our manager?
I'm the one who set up the LLC. And
Well, then take it up with yourself, you
Let
idiot.
the smart guy do it. Yeah, jeez.
Yeah. I don't know shit about fuck.
That fucking beer can still gets me. That's so good. That's so good.
I did not know he was going to do that. I did not sign off on it, but I appreciate it.
Yes.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I got my Dodgers hat too. So,
I appreciate that as well.
Yeah, wore it for you, but also because I'm a huge Dodgers fan.
Los Dodgers.
Yes, yes, yes. Actually, how long have you lived out there?
About 6 years.
The house we bought, there was a kid that was there was a Dodgers fan that was killed by a Giants fan.
Thank
God. I remember that. I remember hearing about that on ESPN.
He got stabbed. They were talking shit, kind of like the fuck the Dodgers, fuck the Giants type stuff when you walk past a group of people. Well, I guess it got a little heated. The Giants fan ends up stabbing this Dodgers fan to death. He dies in his dad's arms. It turns out that when we bought this house, there was a Dodgers flag out back.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's crazy that they like the Dodgers. It was like a Hispanic dude that was here. I was like, oh, from Los Angeles, maybe. I don't know. Me judging people.
Yeah.
And it was. It turns out that the tree that this flag was next, it was a memorial tree. It was the aunt and uncle of that kid that got killed.
Oh shit!
And all they asked, they kept bringing up this tree, and they're like, "Don't get rid of the tree. We'll sell the house, but you got to leave the tree."
Yeah.
And part of me is like, first off, I will do whatever the fuck I want with my house. But I was intrigued, and I didn't want to bring it up. And then when we moved in, there was a bottle of wine, and there was a letter that I still can't read. It was just every bit of your heart ripped out of your chest. And you just can't read it because it was the woman describing how bad it had sucked to have to go back and all this stuff. So, but yeah, I got a memorial tree for that kid in my backyard.
So you have a haunted house, essentially.
Yes, yeah.
And then you hear noises at night, and you wake up and you listen really closely, and you just hear ja 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 ja.
Oh my god!
Elote.
Oh shit! You're gonna get me canceled.
Yeah, well,
yeah, whatever. Takes listeners, I guess.
that's my. I'm like, take it up with the LLC. I don't know.
Get up with them.
The LLC, yes.
Well, what else do you guys have going on? Anything good?
Fucking, I don't know, man. Not really. Life's been pretty fucking terrible.
Just counting down the days until I come to visit.
That's honestly, I'm just trying to make it work. I don't know if we should announce the thing that we were thinking about announcing on here. Should we do that?
When is this coming out?
Yeah, when is this coming out?
When is this coming out? We're gonna go late March, April, maybe. I don't know. It's. I gotta look. I had.
Well,
so
we
my
can talk
recording...
about it. Well, it will happen after. So, we're doing our first live, in person, like in front of people podcast.
I'll make sure it comes out before that. How about that?
Okay.
When are you guys doing? Is that what you want?
Yeah.
Have an announcement?
Whatever.
Well,
we don't want to fuck up your schedule.
Yeah, I guess I don't know.
No, I'll make it work. Don't worry about it.
We're not necessarily like promoting it because it's kind of a thing.
We're not sure if it's going to happen.
Yeah, it's been on the fence for a while, and it's still, it's less than a month away, and the details are still very blurry. But yeah, so we are scheduled to do our first live podcast at a restaurant here in LA. Called Christians Here over St. Patrick's Day. And yeah, we're going to film it, and
hopefully
if it's good, we will put it out. And if it's bad, this never happened.
It'll be good. So how did that come to be? You reached out to them? Was it something you saw?
So it's at this place, this restaurant that we love in LA called The Dive, Steam Kettle Kitchen. Christian, we took you there while you were here last.
It's a weird fusion restaurant. Like
I don't mean weird.
Like it's delicious. It's amazing, but it was like Asian Cajun food.
Mm-hmm. So
it's the best way to describe it.
They have it's not even. I think he just thinks it's Asian because it's in an Asian area. It's in Temple City in a suburb of Los Angeles, but they really only have Cajun food for the most part. It's like bouillon and stuff like that. So it's kind of it's very Cajun, but they do all their cooking in steam kettles for the most part.
Okay.
And Abby and I just absolutely love it. We actually stumbled in there on their opening night, just randomly. We were in the area and stumbled in a couple years ago. They were just opening. We've been going there ever since, and needless to say, we're good friends with management and people who work there. And
everybody knew you when we went there.
He was like fucking Norm from Cheers.
Yes.
Nice.
Where everybody knows your name.
So you have this thing. It may or may not happen. But let's just say it happens. So you've got this idea. You know the people there.
Well, it was the way the way that it came up was so strange, which is why I'm like, I don't know how to feel about it. So I was there, and I know the manager, and I kind of just asked her before we left. I go, hey, do you guys ever do any kind of sponsorships or promotions or anything with like local businesses? And she goes, oh yeah, we love supporting local business. I go, okay, well, I was just wondering if it'd be okay if I have a podcast, if we like do an ad read for you guys. You don't have to pay us. It'll just be, completely pro bono, but we love this place so much. We'd love to promote it.
Yeah.
And she goes, that's fine. But better yet, we actually have a comedy night coming up in March. If you guys want to like do your podcast live,
That's
And
awesome.
I was like, all right. Like, I didn't even tell her it's a comedy podcast. I didn't even tell her that. She just, I don't know. She just said it. And
Dude,
I was
that's
like,
awesome.
well, let's try it. So we're going to give it a shot. I have no idea how it's going to go, but
Do they have mics you can use, or are you taking your stuff?
we're going to have to take our stuff.
Make sure you get a dynamic mic if you don't already have one.
So we both bought like lav mics, so like the ones you clip on.
Yep.
But it's gonna be interesting. So there's a comedian who's the one who's organizing this, but like
Also a friend of the manager.
yeah, which is going to be interesting because we're going to be doing like our podcast and him doing comedy, and like I think I might have to do comedy for a little bit.
I think you have to.
Mm-hmm.
Knock the dust off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
It'll be interesting.
That'll be fun. And you know what?
Yeah.
Listen, record everything and sort through the shit later.
yeah.
And you get some good bits. Yeah, I had a guy on the show, Ronnie Pascal, who's a LA-based comedian. Really fucking funny guy too.
Yeah.
Really funny guy. I steal his joke, but I'm gonna give him credit. He said he met his girlfriend the old-fashioned way. He untied her from some train tracks.
That's a good bit.
It's really funny. He's
That
like,
is a good bit.
yeah,
That's great.
It was awesome. Yeah, Ronnie
That's
Pascal's out there. Yeah, you guys have way more of the comedy scene, which we had talked about before, out there. Like we've got 2 clubs maybe, and some smaller random ones. But yeah, I would love to get out there. But yeah, I think that's a good idea. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Get some exposure for the show, meet some new comedians, and just dude, maybe just a thought. Have them stop by after the set. Have them come over, chat with you, and just do each one. Maybe not. Maybe I go fuck myself. But you know what I mean.
No, so that's actually kind of the plan.
Nice.
So we kind of want Christian to... So essentially what we're thinking, because this is why it's weird, right? It's strange because we're kind of planning the whole thing.
Yeah.
We've never done this before. The comedian who's there is like an up-and-comer. Like he just started a year or 2 ago. And so the manager's like, yeah, just do whatever you want. And we're like, we've never done any of this before. And so kind of the way that we're thinking about it is Christian and I are the hosts of the comedy night. So we'll go out there, do our little intro bit thing, and then I'm assuming I hand it off to Christian.
Yeah. Then I'll do like a 10 to 15 minute set. I guess we haven't really because I still have jokes that I can pull out of my back pocket and tell. And then after that, then me and Damien are going to do the podcast, but like interview the guy who is going to be the comedian to end the show. But it's cool because that guy is like from that area.
Oh, that's cool.
He literally lives a block away from the restaurant.
Yeah,
Nice.
like grew up in that area, and we're going to talk about like it's really because LA, of course, has changed a lot in that area in the last 30 years, and so talk about that.
Well, then he's a Remainer.
Yes. Oh, big time. Absolutely. So we're going to do that. So we're going to do, I think, intro, Christian, podcast for 15, 20 minutes, maybe get the crowd involved a little bit, and then he's going to, the comedian Jason's going to end the show.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, yeah. If this comes out before that, I hope it goes well. And if it comes out afterwards, cut this entire 40 minutes that we've been talking about this.
Yes.
I'll make it work. I'll make it work for you. Yeah, because it'd be really bad if it didn't.
Yeah. Also, I know we're probably getting ready to wrap it. I mean, it's your show. I don't know. But before we get to any of that point, I do want to say really fucking appreciate you doing the ad reads for us,
man.
and vice versa, sending you or sending us yours so we can put it in ours. I know it's a bit sporadic when we add it in. But dude, I fucking love your show. I love you.
Thank
this
you.
is great. This is an awesome fucking show, and we just have a great time with you. So I appreciate all the support.
Yeah, man. I've said it before, and I had a show, one that's coming up recently, but it's sometimes they're long enough where I can add a couple different ads.
Yeah.
And like you said, it is sporadic. I need to find a better way to track some of that stuff. I try not to drop too many ads, but I could probably do 2 per episode. But, I've said this to other people that come on. The best part about it is the meeting people and talking with people.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are like, oh, man, you make money doing podcasts. No, I don't care if I ever make a dime.
We lose money. Dude.
We lose a lot of money on this show.
I'm in the hole with Riverside. I'm in the hole with equipment, but I don't care. Yep. I just enjoy having people come on, hear stories, talk, and honestly just kind of laugh a little bit. I think it's best time is in the world right now is just if you can find some time to set aside to laugh, it's probably going to do a lot of good for a lot of people. So no, man, I'm glad you guys came on and like I said, remain, roam, return. Fantastic podcast. Love these guys. And, thank you guys for coming on.
Oh, before we go, one more thing.
Yeah. One more thing. Let's go.
Am I the first return guest?
He is the first return guest.
Fuck yes. That's what I'm talking about.
Did we just become best friends?
Suck it, nerds.
I think the original concept of this was Damien just talked shit on me the entire time, and then I was going to rebuttal that, but I don't
He's a better
remember.
person than me.
He's a good guy.
Yeah.
You can see it too. Like, Damien, you're okay.
Yeah.
Christian is he's a peach.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
You're both all right.
He's the angel on this shoulder, and I'm the devil on this shoulder, which is why my name is Damien. Fun fact.
Yeah. Oh, shit. I didn't even put it. Oh, my goodness. I didn't even look at that.
Damien.
And that's the kind of humor you get on the Triple R podcast, baby. That's what goes on
registered.
here.
Yes.
Look at that. Christian, I'm sorry. I'm going to call you out before you go. Did you just squeeze a fart out?
No, it was just me. I was like sitting on my leg.
trying to avoid bed sores.
No, do I look like a man who's ashamed of talking about my own farts?
Oh, it's so funny. The way you leaned forward, I was like, oh my God. Did he just fart?
I was doing a weird, like, sitting on
just
my
getting
own
comfortable.
leg.
I got you.
Yeah.
What do you think his act for 15 minutes is going to be in the live episode?
I know.
It's just going to be him farting into the microphone.
You're going to have that on video too, right?
Of course.
Yeah, that's going to be a great one, man. Well, I hope you guys do it.
You're talking to a man who had to shit at an Arby's recently while on a run.
You had to shit at an Arby's?
Yeah, and then
now that's roast beef.
And then it ran out of toilet paper, and so I had to use the brown paper towels.
Oh, good Lord!
But I was a gentleman. I put that in the trash. I don't want to mess up the Arby's plumbing.
No, Jesus Christ. Now, are you the type of guy that walks in and does that fake look at the menu and you're like,
We've talked about that.
Yeah, I'm thinking about the 5 for 5.
Luckily, the way the Arby's is situated, the bathroom is right by the door, and so I just snuck in. But I also don't like it because it's one of those bathrooms where it's just there's not individual stalls or anything like that.
Yeah.
So it's just the toilet and a urinal and then the door. So if anyone else has to use the bathroom, they're having to awkwardly knock.
Yeah, and you know damn well you can't trust that lock because you lock it and you're like, is this thing really going to hold? You're like, fucking.
So here's the key to that. You keep the door open and you lock it and see it from the outside if it works. That's the key. Also, quick question. What is your go-to response if you're in the bathroom and somebody knocks on the door in public?
Hold on, I'm coming.
I wish I had a fun answer, but I know truly deep inside me, it's occupied.
I don't. Is there? What do you do? Because it's when somebody walks into a restroom, right? And there's stalls, you kind of cough or you smack your foot off the ground. It's they're like wild animals. Hey, I'm just letting another wild animal know that I'm here. Yeah. So there's no aggression. What is the right thing to do? He yells occupied like a Puerto Rican woman, apparently. What do you do, Damien?
No, I thought he was talking about someone knocks on the door. It's one of these situations.
What do you do?
I have two responses. One is very similar to what you said, which is go away baiting.
Baiting.
Go away baiting. And then the other one is if they knock a little quietly, I go, housekeeping?
You want me fluff pillow?
Essentially, both of my responses are movie references, and
I was about to say, yeah.
I figure I could do one or the other or both, and somebody's gonna get it.
Yeah.
Now I feel like I need to come up with a better response.
Just do this next time they knock on the door. Go, they're doing coke.
Which
in an Arby's bathroom at 4:30 p.m. on a Tuesday.
We have the meats,
dude. I will end it with this. That was good. St. Patrick's Day, we end up a couple years ago. The guys decide, hey, gentlemen, let's solve this long line problem.
Mm-hmm.
You go into a porta-john. You've got the toilet portion, and you've got the little side thing.
Yep.
Let's all pair up.
Yeah.
Let's go in as a duo, and let's blast through this line, right? Men solving problems type shit. Well, there was a miscount in the line. I thought I was with my buddy, and he fucking wasn't, so I get paired up with this other guy. So we get in, and he's like, I love your jersey, man. Or it was like a Boston Celtics like warm-up.
I love your cock, man.
And he goes, hey, man, I don't need to use the bathroom. So I'm like, well, somebody's getting a blowjob out of this. It sounds like it's me. And he's fiddling around in his pocket, and he drops whatever he has. So now me and him are stuffed in a fucking porta-john.
I was about to say, that is not a place to drop something.
So does he go, excuse me? No, he bends over, and I'm like, dude, if somebody opens this door, like it looks like I'm getting fucking smoked off in this thing. He just dropped his cocaine.
Of course.
So I was in the bathroom, who, by the way, never done any drugs like that. Smoked some weed, maybe sampled a couple mushrooms and had a good evening. But this dude is blasting lines off of his wrist. And I'm just like, I come out of the bathroom and I'm like, hey, just another experience for me. You know, I thought a guy was going to blow me, and then he just started doing cocaine in the bathroom. And
there was one type of blow in that.
I knew we were talking about long lines. I had no idea it was that.
Yeah, it's a really scary thing to hear a man you don't know go, I really don't have to go to the bathroom. And then go, where the fuck is this going? And who gets to do who?
Well, it's just like I always say, anytime I go into a public restroom, the first thought in my head is, don't get scared.
Somebody's leaving with a mouthful of shame, and it isn't me. Oh, my goodness. Well, gentlemen,
Yes.
as always, it's good seeing you guys. Thank you so much for coming on. And love you both.
Love the Paddy Wagon, brother.
Yeah, it is the Paddy Wagon, and we'll talk to everyone soon. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Yep, bye.